In the 1970s, the FBI started to teach profiling at its new academy in Quantico, Virginia. The courses were pioneered by the criminologist Howard Teeton.
Once the academy opened in 1972, we started teaching the profiling course, just an overview. And then we would focus in on the psychological crime scene evaluation. We had a small class, all investigators and crime scene specialists. And I had asked them, when you look at a crime scene, you basically say to yourself, what kind of a person would do this? What is this person saying, either to the victim or to the people he expects to find the victim? What kind of a job could you expect him to have? And from that point of view, you're now getting to the point where you have investigative leads.
Apart from running courses, Howard Teeton also provided FBI profiles for cases around the country. But profiling still involved an element of guesswork. In an attempt to make it more exact, the FBI traveled to Maynard Correctional Center in Illinois.
The rope trick is not, the way I've described the rope trick is it's nothing more than a tourniquet. Stick one loop into it, and then you take the thing and just twist it.
What was the purpose of that?
It's in a tourniquet, so it cut off the air. So if you're going to kill somebody, you just put it on their neck and twist it 3 times or 4 times or whatever until the person stops moving.
In 1980, John Wayne Gacy was convicted of killing 33 young men. FBI agent Robert Ressler followed in the footsteps of those who interviewed Peter Curtin and talked to Gacy and other serial killers.
By going into prisons, I learned a great deal about violent offenders. You learn from the individual, from the person that did the crime. Not just talking to them, but collecting data.
One of the problems was that despite overwhelming evidence, Gacy refused to admit his guilt.
Tim McCoy was the first one, and he was buried by me in the crawl space. That's the only knowledge that I have of it.
What was the circumstances of that?
He was killed in the house in self-defense.
And who killed him then?
I stabbed him.
Yeah, and it was an issue of self-defense. Why was he in the process of assaulting you, or what?
He was coming at me with a knife. I just took the knife away and twisted it in his hand, and that's what killed him.
So at that point, you yourself did bury him then in the crawl space.
Right, yeah. And if you notice, he's under concrete.
Considering I'm sitting across the table from a serial killer who's killed 33 young men, that we know of. I always say that I have to leave my psychological baggage outside the interview room. I have to go in clear and clean. I have to relate to him as another human being without any feelings of what he's done. The important thing is when you leave the room, you pick up your psychological baggage and you restore your equilibrium, because a person like this very, very likely can warp your mind if you fall into his way of thinking.
But as the evidence of convicted murderers is not always reliable, there are those who doubt the value of the FBI's work.
One of the most sexy and exciting things you can give an account of is having talked to a nasty, vicious, violent criminal, a serial killer. So interviewing serial killers does become a bit like scalps on your belt of things you've achieved. And that's a lot of the value of it, rather than the scientific benefit.
What is scientific? Science is the practice of trying to learn something about something. If you have no precedent, you have to start with what you have and what you have available. Now it might be said that it wasn't scientific, but at the time it was about as scientific as you could get.